One. What is up, Buckeye fans? Welcome back to another episode of Locked On Buckeyes for the Locked On Podcast Network. I am your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast. It is Tuesday, March 16th in the year 2021. And with just a few days away before the Buckeyes take the court in the NC2A tournament, it gives us a few days, a little bit of time to get to know the Buckeyes' next opponent. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at JSteven07. You can also follow the podcast on Twitter as well at Locked On Buckeye. Lineup for today in segment 2. We'll begin to start to learn a few details about the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles. Segment 3, a little audio, a little Chris Holtman interview, courtesy of 97.1 The Fan. We begin today's show looking at the NFL. NFL free agency started yesterday, and man, there were a few Buckeyes that moved around to different teams. Not one, not two, but 3 Buckeyes are looking and playing in new cities, and one signed a contract with the same team that he was already playing with. The NFL free agency period is exciting. It brings a smile to fans' faces, and sometimes you get a little disgruntled. I was talking to one of my buddies earlier today, and it's about Monday afternoon-ish and going into the evening, and we're talking about the Patriots that he's a fan of. Ooh, Patriots got this guy. Patriots got that guy. Why did they sign those receivers? And as football fans, we love it. Sometimes we don't like it. When it comes to our school that we follow, it's always enjoyable to see. I remember what that guy did at Ohio State. I am excited that he's in the NFL. Where is he going to play next? I might want to watch him play football in the NFL a little bit more. Oh, wait, he's on my team? That makes me a whole lot happier. We will start with the most lucrative deal of those that got drafted or that got signed deals in the NFL free agency on Monday. Well, that got verbal deals. They haven't been inked and signed and pinned yet. Just verbal deals just to this point right now. It's just called a legal tampering period. It's legal to not have a deal, but have a deal. Instead of just saying, oh, you got a deal now, you go, yeah, you guys can go ahead and sign it. NFL says, no, there's a tampering period, and this is legal. But if it's tampering, it's supposed to be illegal. But the NFL says, no, even though it says tampering in our terms, it is legal. Yes, trust me. As I'm explaining it, it's very confusing to me as well. Corey Lindsey, 5-year, $62.5 million contract, and he will be playing with the L.A. Chargers. Almost said it. I've said it so many times. Almost said the San Diego Chargers, but they don't play in San Diego anymore. They are now in L.A. Corey Lindsey, he was rated the number 1 center via Pro Football Focus in their rankings, the 4th pass blocking center, and also the 2nd run blocking according to Pro Football Focus as well. Now, his contract has a $13 million signing bonus and $26 million over the first 2 years as well. Corey Lindsey, his rookie year, he was a member of he was awarded a part of the Pro Football Writers Association All-Rookie Team, and last year he was a first-team All-Pro as well. Next up, Pat Elflein. I always forget the L that's right there. Elflein, not F. Elflein, I'll get it right eventually. 3-year, $13.5 million contract. He will be with the Carolina Panthers, and his contract has $6 million guaranteed. Pat Elflein got drafted in the 3rd round of the 2017 draft, 70th pick overall. Got drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. He has been there up until this point in time. Last season, he was with the Jets. He himself was a member of the Pro Football Writers Association All-Rookie Team as well. Next up, Carlos Hyde, the running back. We all know him. He's been around a few teams in the NFL. Drafted in 2014 in the 2nd round, number 57 pick overall. He was with the San Francisco 49ers from 2014 until 2017. Then with the Browns, the Jaguars, the Chiefs, the Texans, the Seahawks, and now he reunites with his college coach, Urban Meyer, going back to the Jaguars, a team that he played part of the 2018 season with. And then last but not least, Mr. Noah Brown, the one individual, the only one that is staying with the same team that he was drafted by, that he has been with his entire career. Noah Brown has a 1-year deal, He has 14. He had 14 catches last season, 154 yards receiving, played in all 16 games, started one game last year. For his career, played in 37 games, started 4 games. Last year was his best year, averaged 11.0 yards per reception. Still has not scored a touchdown in the NFL yet. NFL free agency. This is just the first day. This recording is coming around 8:45 Eastern Standard Time on Monday evening. So maybe after I get done recording, there may be more Buckeyes that are moving around saying, ooh, that Buckeye's going there. That Buckeye's going there. I might want to watch him. I like what he did in Ohio State. I am wondering if he's going to continue doing that there as well. The most surprising thing for me was that the Packers let Corey Lindsey go, knowing that he was one of the solid pieces for Aaron Rodgers while they're in Green Bay, but they're now in LA, the Chargers, where you have Justin Herbert, your young quarterback that you're hoping to build off of from the season he had last year. Hey, you get a good solid center right there to help a young quarterback. That could be a perfect pair for the future. Very excited. Looking forward to seeing what that duo and what that team does next with Corey Lindsey there, calling the shots there for the offensive line. Go step away very quickly. When we come back, we will look towards the Buckeyes' next opponent on the basketball court, the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles. But first, check this out. RockAuto.com is a family business serving auto parts customers online for 20 years. Go to RockAuto.com to shop for auto and body parts for hundreds of manufacturers. They have everything from engine control modules and brake parts to tail lamps, motor oil, and even new carpet. Whether it's for your classic or daily driver, get everything you need in a few easy clicks delivered directly to your door. The RockAuto.com catalog is unique and remarkably easy to navigate. Quickly see all the parts available for your vehicle and choose brands, specifications, and prices you prefer. Best of all, prices at RockAuto.com are always reliably low, and the same for professionals and do-it-yourselfers. Why spend up to twice as much for the same parts? Go to RockAuto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, locked on in their How Did You Hear About Us box so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com. Betting on the Ohio State Buckeyes doesn't have to be a guessing game. If you listen to the new Locked On Bets podcast hosted by your boy Q and handicapping expert Lee Sterling, get daily picks, blowout specials, wrong team favorite picks, and Lee Sterling's lock of the day. Follow the Locked On Bets podcast brought to you by betonline.ag wherever you get your podcast. If this is your first time listening or watching Locked On Buckeyes, I want to say welcome. Or if it's your first time in a very long time listening or watching the podcast, I want to say welcome back. I thoroughly appreciate and take it a great honor that you will spend some time out of your busy day, take time out of your day to listen or watch the podcast. Make sure you subscribe to Locked On Buckeyes so you don't miss a beat. Locked On Buckeyes drops a fresh new episode for you every Monday through Friday. The Oral Roberts Golden Eagles, 16-10 on the season, 10-5 in conference play. Paul Mills has been the coach since the 2017-2018 season. Some interesting notes about him. This is his first head coaching job. This is his first time in the NCAA tournament, and his first time as a conference tournament champion as well. So for him, it's very, very exciting. It's very enjoyable to see the success that he was having in a different style of basketball season. Paul Mills, in his 4 years at Oral Roberts, first year 11-21. Second year, 11-21. Last year, 17-14. They played 31 games. This year, playing 26 games, they went 16-10, a 61.5 win percentage on the year to date. That is the best win percentage that he has had while being the head man for the basketball team at Oral Roberts. Overall record as a coach, coached in 121 games, 55-66 overall as a head coach. That's a 45.5% winning percentage. Oral Roberts, the basketball team, going into the conference tournament, they were the number 4 overall seed in the Summit League tournament. Ultimately, they squeaked out. They were up 45-20 in the conference championship game. They never trailed. North Dakota State fought back and kept fighting, had a little bit of a wild ending, but the Golden Eagles of Oral Roberts found a way and kept that lead, held that lead that they had put together in the first half. Points per game for Oral Roberts. Here are some of the numbers that I think we're going to compare and contrast with the Buckeyes to say, ooh, Ohio State, how do they compare with the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles? As I get my screen pulled up to get everything going correctly. Oral Roberts averages 81.8 points per game. That is 12th in the NCAA out of 347 teams. They are giving up 75.8 points per game. That is 293 of 347 teams in the NCAA Division I ranks, that is. Offensive rating, 111.0, 27th of 347. Defensive rating, 102.8, 246 of 347. Ohio State. Now, Oral Roberts, and we'll go back really quickly. That's right, 16-10, fourth in the Summit League. I forgot I already went over that part. Ohio State, 21-9 overall record, 12-8 in league play. They finished 5th in the Big Ten, but they did make it to their conference championship game. However, they did not come out victorious. Ohio State, remember now, Oral Roberts is scoring 81.8 points per game. Ohio State is scoring 77.3, 48th of 347 teams. They're giving up Ohio State 71.0 points a game, 202 of 347. Offensive rating for Ohio State, 113.6. That is 11th of 347. Defensive rating for Ohio State, 104.2. Worse. We talk about Ohio State's defense and how there are some holes. They're playing a team that's about as bad defensively as they are. 104.2 defensive rating for Ohio State. That is 269 of 347 in the NCAA. Among the scorers in the offensive production for Oral Roberts, there are a few names I think you should know about. Max Abmas, I hope I said his name correctly. He is number 3. You'll probably see a lot of highlights where he is featured. He is the leading scorer in the NCAA, 24.4 points per game. He's also averaging 3.2 rebounds a game, 3.7 assists per game as well, averaging 36.5 minutes per game. The one thing about him is he is not very big. 6'1", 165 pounds. They don't have the height. They have the next best scorer, Kevin Abanor, a junior. He is number 0, 6'8", 225 forward, averaging 8.2 points a game, 9.5 rebounds a game. That's a nice 1-2 punch or scoring duo that they have. He also averages 30.8 minutes per game as well. The next scorer drops off significantly. Almost a 10-point drop off between Kevin Abanor's point production average per game and Kareem Thompson point production average per game. Kareem Thompson, number 2. He is a sophomore. Going back to the old way of me saying that word. 6'6", 190. He is a guard. 8.7 points a game average. 3.7 rebounds a game. Excuse me, I jumped the gun. Number 10, RJ Glasper. He averages 11 points a game. He is a senior, 6 foot even, 180 pounds. When it comes to Max Abmas, some interesting things about him, not just being the leading scorer in the country. He is 4th in the country in threes per game at 3.6, 5th in the country in made threes at 90, 9th in the country at attempted threes, then 13th in the country in three-point field goal percentage. Ohio State, down the stretch. Sometimes free throws are very, very important. And when it comes to this team, Oral Roberts, the Golden Eagles, if this game is close, I don't believe it will be. Still doing some more watching of the film and reading of some articles before making how much of a wide margin I think the outcome will be. Oral Roberts, Their three top scorers average above 88% from the free throw line. Their top six scorers average above 73% from the free throw line. So just how they have the top scorer in the country, they struggle on defense. They do not struggle from the free throw line. That's a key note because in these games, we know anything can happen in the NCAA tournament. And when you have players like a Max Abmiss, a Kevin Abanier, I believe by the end of the week, your boy will get these names correct. Max Abmiss, Kevin Abinor, Kareem Thompson, RJ Glasper, Deshane Weaver, who I had not mentioned, also Carlos Jurgens. I do believe if they are at the line, who do you think about it? If you can't go out and just say, ooh, I'm going to not allow him to go ahead and get to the free throw line, so I'm going to foul somebody else. Well, you're going from, let's say, you don't want to foul Max Abmiss, but you want to foul Carlos Jurgens. Yeah, he may average 5.6 points a game. He is the fifth leading scorer for the team, but he's also averaging 78.7% from the free throw line. Above him, Deshane Weaver, 77.8% from the free throw line. So basically, if you give them 100 shots, these guys are hitting 78 of them from the free throw line, 77 of them from the free throw line. Kareem Thompson, 73% even from the free throw line, averaging 8.7 points a game. Offense, they're going to score the ball. But at the same time, now free throw shooting in a close game, who do you foul? You just don't know. Defense is not their forte, not at all. They did have games earlier in the season, play teams like Oklahoma, teams like Wichita State, teams like Oklahoma State as well. They had 4 or 5 games against your Arkansas, against your power conference teams in the country. Wichita State more of a mid-major, but above your average mid-major when it comes to how well they play the basketball. They didn't win any of those games. That's a key point and key thing. They're going to fight. They're going to scratch and claw till the final whistle, but in those games, the one key thing I noticed in the Arkansas game, they had at least a 10-point lead. Arkansas fought back. Arkansas came back to win the game, and we see how good Arkansas is. Let's just say the thing is close. Will Ohio State in the game like they have recently? Will Ohio State get in foul trouble, and we see that Oral Roberts is at the free throw line a little bit earlier than we would like? Just a few tidbits, little notes early on in the week about the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles, things that are very, very important. Not good on defense. Got the leading scorer in the country. In free throws, the free throw shooting is above average. So for those of you that are watching the video right now, portion of this podcast, this is where this portion will end. We're going to go to an audio portion to end the show where the audio is, it's an interview, the Mad About Hoops. There was a watch party, a bracket party, Sunday evening after the Selection Sunday show was there after they revealed the bracket. It was the Mad About Hoops bracket party put on by 97.1 The Fan. Tim Hall of 97.1. All these voices there are part of either the Mad About Hoops podcast. Dave Biddle is a part of 97.1 The Fan and Bucknuts. The Scott Prokop was a part of 97.1 The Fan as well. So it's Timmy Hall, Colin Behringer, Dave Biddle, and Scott Prokop. Those are the 4 voices, along with Chris Holtman. You will hear about a 10-minute interview that they did. Chris Holtman right after the game. You get some instant reaction, some good questions that the men ask, and it's the way we're going to end today's show. Not with Jay, but just with Chris Holtman's voice, letting us hear what he had to say after Ohio State's loss to Illinois and after they found out who they'll be facing in the NC2A tournament.